Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. It is Season 2 Reloaded Update Day here in Call of Duty, and of course, just yesterday we ended up seeing the patch notes for this update drop. There were a lot of them between multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone, and for the most part, while there isn't as much content this go-around, there's a lot of gameplay changes, bug fixes, various updates like that. Warzone specifically had a lot of interesting quality of life updates and gameplay fixes and stuff. However, there was one specific update that really stood out because it, well, frankly, was not a great change, and it was a change to the loadout system to make it so that even in duos, trios, and quads, where unless everyone in your squad grabs a loadout, it then disappears. Loadouts are one and done. If you were to grab your loadout, but maybe your teammate didn't, and then you happen to die, you could come back in the next life, grab that loadout again, and keep doing that so long as everyone on your team didn't fully grab their custom loadout out of that specific crate, right? However, they changed it basically so that if you grab your loadout, then you die in that life and that loadout box or that loadout crate is still there, you're no longer able to access it. It is one and done completely. They did this to prevent players from farming that, using their loadout to then go trade in their guns at a weapon trade station, die, come back, get their loadout again, and cheese the system that way. Really niche tactic. They admitted it was a very small percentage of players doing it, and it got a lot of backlash. Everyone was like, why are you doing that? You know, that's not a change anyone asked for. This should not be the priority. And that feedback was actually responded to very quickly here. Raven ended up posting this on Twitter yesterday afternoon saying, "We hear you. The previously announced change to limit repeated loadout drop access after death has been removed from Season 2 Reloaded. Looking forward to seeing everyone play tomorrow," which is now today. So our feedback, the general community here saying, why is this a change? What are you guys doing? They actually responded to this very, very quickly, which is really nice to see. Straight up, when the update is live today, which is about the time that you guys are seeing this video now, this will no longer be included there. And we can actually go over to the patch notes and it just simply no longer exists. For the February 19th update, if you were to go through previously, right initially at the very start in the general tab, they talk about combat records, they talk about weapon trade station balancing, and this is where they were talking about the changes to that loadout drop system, and that's no longer there entirely. So completely removed. It's not mentioned in the patch notes anymore, and it will not be a part of today's update, which is great because, like I said, the general perception and the general reception of this was not good. Players were not super thrilled about that. And even in the patch note video yesterday when we covered it, I'm sitting there reading it like, why is this a change? You know, this should not be a focus when there are so many other things in game that could have had that attention and could have had that action there, instead of making something, you know, updated that was only impacting a super small percentage of the player base. So definitely nice to see that that's been updated and no longer is going to exist. On top of that though, we also got several additional bonus update patch notes for Season 2 Reloaded from the various Call of Duty social channels. So as we are diving into the additional details here, quick reminder, if you are new to this channel, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, whether it is news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, it's all right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, help us get one step closer to surpassing 1 million. And if you guys enjoy this video, a like rating is always seriously appreciated as well. Much love to everyone who takes the time to do so. But yeah, Treyarch has actually posted several other bonus updates with Season 2 Reloaded, different patch notes, different changes in game like that. For instance, they do say for Black Ops 6 ranked play, the bounty and dealership map evaluation is now officially done. They were doing this for the first half of the season basically, and both maps have been removed from the competitive map pool rotation. Thanks for all the feedback and data over the last 2 weeks. Major 2 will move forward without any map pool adjustments. So essentially, bounty and dealership did not go over well. Players didn't really respond well to these being in the map pool. They didn't feel like they were maps that necessarily needed to be played competitively, so just the standard map pool is sticking there for the foreseeable future basically. Call of Duty Updates did also post about a slight anti-cheat update that's going out alongside Season 2 Reloaded. Of course, the next time we have a full-on major, quote-unquote major anti-cheat update is going to be at the start of Season 3, but here they say in Black Ops 6 and Warzone today, Team Ricochet deployed an update for a recently tracked exploit that was causing server crashes. This obviously has been a very big deal in ranked play where cheaters go through, they crash the server so everyone just loses out in SR. Like, it's specifically intended just to ruin everyone's game. It also happened in pubs though, where if you killed the wrong team because they had this cheat and they get mad that they died because they're not good at the game, they just kick the entire entire server. They boot the entire thing. Accounts found to have even attempted this exploit have now been identified, and permanent bans are rolling out now. So they have done some stability updates as of late to try and combat these server crash hacks and cheats, and now they're directly going after those who are attempting to do these in game. So good news there. It's not the most significant anti-cheat update ever, but it's an anti-cheat update nonetheless, which is always good to see if it's actually doing something. Treyarch does also follow up some of their initial patch note update tweets with a few other additional patch notes. So they say, we've added some clarification for the depth perception death stare augment adjustment and added an additional vulture aid fix to the season 2 reloaded patch notes. So now with depth perception, increase the health threshold to activate to 20% of the special enemy max health. And then also on vulture aid on Condor's reach, address an issue that prevented the vulture egg augment Condor's reach from picking up loot as intended. So just some bug fixes there for zombies. Then they also added another one here. They say we've added an additional amalgam related fix to the season 2 reloaded patch notes on amalgams, address an issue where players would still be targeted and damaged by other zombies during the amalgam grab attack. So just limiting the damage there so that those aren't bugging out and doing more than intended with that. So definitely some solid additional patch notes, but then most importantly, them actually responding to community feedback here and recognizing that a change that they did themselves backfired right away. And it seemed like a lot of the general perception, at least on Twitter when this change was announced, was why was there no testing done here? Why was this not previewed ahead of time to sort of gauge feedback? They just went all in saying, hey, completely out of the blue, we're making this change. And Modern Warzone ended up bringing up a pretty good point here to close things out, saying, glad you guys listened. Hope you can get back to doing developer calls so stuff like this doesn't have to happen. Every single person on that call likely would have told you to never let that change or thought of making it see the light of day. And this is something that I think is pretty important. There's been very little feedback and engagement with the COD community since Black Ops 6 dropped. If you guys are active viewers here on the channel dating back to the last couple of years, Call of Duty's done a lot of creator calls or dev calls with certain people prior to seasons dropping, where we'd actually be able to get a preview of the content and hands-on explanation from the devs saying, hey, this is why we're updating this, or this is what's coming here. And those have sort of stopped existing here in Black Ops 6 Warzone. So there's very little feedback and general engagement, you know, and that active conversation happening, which is unfortunate because ultimately the goal at the end of the day is always to help make the game better. And when there's that lack of a through line or lack of a connection there, it obviously becomes a lot more difficult. And then when random things like this change appear out of the blue and it's like, well, if you would have asked, most people probably would have said, no thanks, we're good. It does create a bit of an interesting situation there. So hopefully this is something that can spark some change going forward. And again, really nice to see that they did actually respond to this rather quickly. But that being said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. If you enjoyed the video, likes always seriously appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, you want to guarantee that every single day you are in the know for everything going on in COD, feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.